Today's video is sponsored by Midwest Photo. If you've seen some of my videos in the past on lighting, you're probably already familiar with the brand Godox, and Midwest Photo is the largest Godox dealer in Ohio. They have everything you can think of, as well as in their rental department as well, so if you'd like to try out anything that Godox makes before buying first, you can do so in-store in Columbus or even online at impex.com. Right now you can get free shipping on any Godox order if you go to impex.com and use the promo code GODOXShipping during checkout. Today we're going to take a closer look at the Godox V1. This is a brand new on-camera flash from Godox, and it hasn't been released yet, but I've had it for a few days. I'm going to be returning it to Midwest Photo Exchange tomorrow, but I wanted to share my thoughts here and just sort of an overview of the flash itself. This has really been just an in-home test. I haven't used it on any paid jobs or anything like that, but I've used the Flashpoint Explorer 600 for a couple of years now, and I still use it to this day whenever I need any off-camera flash. I made a video a couple years ago about that thing and just sang its praises basically. And the V1, whenever it was announced, I was pretty interested because I've never used a small on-camera flash like this. It has some features built in which are pretty interesting, especially for something this style, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But yeah, basically Midwest just asked if I wanted to take a look at it and share my thoughts, so today that's what we're going to do. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to try and get through this without coughing the entire time, so bear with me here, but first we'll go ahead and get a closer look at this thing. On the back of the flash, you have your simple on-off switch with a bunch of different function buttons, and also you have this little dial as well as a D-pad, so you can actually click this left and right and up and down, but you can also spin the dial around it as well, which is really nice, I think, whenever you're navigating menus or changing your flash power. And the menu setup, you know, it kind of takes a little bit just to kind of figure out where everything's at, but after spending 10 minutes with the flash, I was comfortably able to change things like zooming the flash head, changing the output, if I wanted to turn the beep on or off, anything like that. It's really pretty intuitive. It just kind of takes a minute to kind of figure out where everything's laid out. So like I mentioned, you can zoom the flash head in just like you would with any other normal speed light, although this has a round head, so the shape of the light is going to be a little bit different and I think a little bit more flattering. And you're also going to be able to use different round head attachments that Godox makes, so you can have a number of different modifiers in this little accessory kit. This is definitely something I would probably pick up if I were to buy one of these, just because it opens up a lot more possibility in such a small package. You can shoot the V1 in TTL mode or manual, and it does support high-speed sync up to 1/8,000th of a second. Just like any other speed light, you can rotate the head around and angle it up, and one nice thing that I think is, it seems like a small feature, but it's actually really useful, rather than having to spin it all the way around to angle just, you know, a little bit behind you rather than just straight up. You can have it set normally and just rotate it back. So it doesn't go back all the way, but it goes back plenty of distance. So that way, if you do need to bounce something, maybe you're under a tent at like a wedding reception kind of setting, this can be super useful. Another really nice feature is a built-in modeling lamp. And if you're shooting in any kind of low light situation, this can be super helpful so you can see exactly how the light is going to fall on your subject. So I actually really like that. And you can control the brightness as well. Once you turn it on, you can just rotate the dial and you can see it gets brighter and brighter, and this is going to be really helpful so you can see exactly how the light's falling on your subject. You can kind of control where it's going to spill and where you don't want it to spill, so I actually really like that. It's super useful. Godox claims the recycle time at full power should be less than 1.5 seconds, so we're going to go ahead and just test that out. You can hear the beep whenever it's ready to go again. So I don't know. That seems about right, about 1.5 seconds, which I think is plenty fast enough, especially if you're used to some other speed lights. You know that the recycle times at full power can definitely be a lot longer than that. So I think that's plenty fast enough for most scenarios. Maybe not everything, but still, I think that's pretty good. One thing I really like about this is the fact that it has a dedicated rechargeable lithium-ion battery. So you don't have to mess with AA batteries and recharging them and going through 24 batteries that you take with you onto a shoot to last all day. I like that it has a dedicated battery. It just makes things a lot simpler, and it has this design where you press in on the side here and it just slides in. So you can literally see right through the flash unit, but it's just all in this one single compact battery, and whenever you're ready to shoot, slide it in and it just locks into place. Super easy to use, really reliable, and again, I don't have to mess with like lining up AA batteries and having a whole box of them with me on a shoot. So yeah, I really appreciate that. The locking mechanism has also been changed, so you don't have this little spinning dial. You just have this one wheel that you turn and it locks into place on the hot shoe, and then whenever you're ready to release it, you just press in on this button and that frees squeeze it and you can spin it, and I found that to be super secure, and I like not having to spin it over and over. It's just a nice solid click, and you can trust it. They're also saying with this battery charged up completely, you should get 650 full power flashes. Most of the time, if I'm using a speedlight, I'm not really needing a full power flash. For anything serious or needing a lot of light, I would typically use a strobe. So with a speedlight, I'm usually just using it for some fill maybe, so that should be plenty of time, or plenty of flashes to get out of a single battery, so I think that's good. Maybe if you're using this as like your one unit, you might want to pick up some extra batteries just to, make sure you get as much as you need, but still, I think that's a pretty good beefy battery for something this size. Now let's talk about accessories, because they sell this accessory unit here, and it has a number of different things you can do with it, and it's all using magnets, so it's super easy to use. You don't need to buy any third-party things to attach your different, modifiers or diffusers on. Everything's built in, super easy to use. So maybe you want to throw a grid on there, that's all you got to do. You can also stack things as well, so maybe you want to throw a grid on there with a gel. You have all these different gels that it comes with, some green, some orange, and you just pop them into this little frame, stack that right on top. And then maybe you want to throw barn doors as well, so you can, there you go, really kind of shape and cut the light however you'd like. Everything is built off of magnets. You've got this little dome diffuser as well. This, for me, I think is super useful if you're bouncing the flash in like a wedding scenario or a wedding reception scenario. This can be super helpful. I really like the way this light kind of falls onto the subject, as well as you have this bounce card here, so if you want to bounce it off the white onto your subject, you can do that. Or maybe if you wanted to, flag the light and you don't want any of the light spilling onto a certain thing, maybe, this is going to be used on a background and you want to color it without having any of that color spill. Say you throw a gel on there so you can gel it, and then you can also add this flag, and that's going to keep any of the light from bouncing onto your subject. So there's just a lot of different things you can do here. It does come with this snoot, which I don't think is super useful because the hole on here is not very small, so it doesn't really cut the light down too much, but still you do have that option. So maybe you could kind of DIY something and maybe make this a little bit smaller, but still it's nice having all of these things in a small package, and it really kind of opens up the possibilities of the flash. One thing to keep in mind with modifiers is the fact that normally you would use like an S bracket whenever you're wanting to mount Bowens mount modifiers to a speedlight. Because of the shape of this isn't going to fit in a regular bracket, so I would imagine Godox is probably going to have to manufacture a specific bracket just for the V1. I haven't seen anything about that yet, but I would imagine that's what they're going to have to do. But that's pretty much it for the closer look on the V1. There's not much else I can say about it since I didn't really get a chance to use it on any kind of paid work. I only had it in hand for a few days, but still I enjoyed using it. It was exciting to try it out, and it's just making me want to try some more different Godox flash units, because again, the Explore 600 I've loved, and actually the light that I'm using right now to film this is the Godox SL60W. I picked this up a few months ago, and I've been really happy with the output of it for a video. So yeah, I wanted to explore a little bit more of these. Explore, no pun intended. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I would imagine this should start shipping in the next couple of months, probably around the $250 to $300 price range, which I think for a speedlight style flash with this kind of capabilities and all the different modifiers you can put on it, I think that's a good price, pretty good price range. Godox and Flashpoint, they're known for giving you good quality stuff at much more affordable prices than some of their competitors. So I'm excited to see how this does and where they take it next, going forward. So if you guys have any questions about this at all, please leave them down below. Big thanks to Midwest Photo, and thank you guys for watching. So I'll see you guys next time.